What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about what specifically is a game engine, how does it kind of work, and what does it do, and why it's way more complex than what you may have thought, and why a lot of people seem to think that Call of Duty and other games need to completely rewrite the game engine and all the rest of it. So, a game engine is a software framework designed for the creation and development of video games, which obviously is how we end up with a video game in the end. Developers use them to create games for consoles, mobile devices, tablets, computers, all the rest of it. The core functionality typically provided via a game engine includes a rendering engine, which obviously creates the graphics, the textures, the core functionality of the game and the way it looks. A physics engine, which obviously is how the game works and how it plays. And obviously there's sound, scripting, animation, artificial intelligence, networking, streaming, memory management, threading, localization, scene graphs and video support for different cinematics and all the rest of it. The process of game development is often economized in a large part by reusing or adapting parts of an engine or the same engine to create different games or to port games to multiple platforms. So obviously you got the PS4 port, you got the PS3 port, if they are still supporting that. You've got the Xbox One port, the Xbox One X port, and the PC, Nintendo and all the rest of it, depending on what game you're looking at. Now, obviously Call of Duty, I'm going to link a video in the description and in the card right now. This is Exclusive Ace's video on Does Call of Duty Need a New Engine? He talks about all the updates and different things, what they've changed in the past and all the way up to now, and which engines they're now running on. Obviously, that's Call of Duty specific, and for Battlefield you get the Frostbite 2 and Frostbite 3 engines and stuff like that, and I know a lot of people think that the Frostbite 3 engine was a completely new engine compared to Frostbite 2. It wasn't. It was a big redo and rewrite and reiteration of Frostbite 2, which made it play different. It made the textures look better and all the rest of it. It made the game feel overall a lot better when it came to Battlefield and the way it plays and everything like that. But it was still an iteration on Frostbite 2, and Frostbite 2 was an iteration on the Frostbite engine from the very beginning. Obviously IW or Infinite Warfare or Infinity Ward had the IW engine, Treyarch's got their own, Sledgehammer's got their own, and so is Raven Software right now. And that is why we always get a different game, and why it feels different, why it plays slightly different, and why the games look different and the way they play and feel. It's just how it goes. And obviously I mentioned a hell of a lot in the beginning of this video, and when it comes to a game engine, you guys don't really seem to think that it's that hard for them to rewrite it completely, and it really is, because it would take over a year or two to be able to rewrite the Call of Duty engine again and implement all the new changes and all the optimizations and everything like that. To me, there is no point on fixing something that isn't broken. And also, that Call of Duty feeling that you get when you play Call of Duty, the way it feels, the way it plays, is all down to the game engine. That's why people love Call of Duty, so why change it if people love it? I mean, I know that people are going to say that the engine's not been changed that much and all the rest of it. Like I said, go and watch Exclusive Face's video on it. He explains all the things that have been changing. Yes, there might not have been mega changes every single year, but the changes have been enough to, when you go back to the original engine, it is unrecognisable. And the stupid thing is 2D and 3D rendering. You know, the textures, the way the maps look, the way the maps play, the way that your character runs around, and the way you slide or dolphin dive or hit the deck mechanics, and, you know, camos, supply drops, all that has to be coded in, pardon me, all that has to be coded in to the game engine for it to work. Same with you connecting to a server and all the rest of it. All of that is networking in the game engine itself. And if it wasn't for that, it wouldn't work. So when people say that you need to rewrite the game engine, you need to start a completely new game engine for Call of Duty, I really don't see it, because the game engine is changing all the time, like I said. Yes, it might be huge improvements, but it's definitely improving, it's definitely getting there. We got better hardware to run better and more complex things right now. And the game engine is one of the most complex things that there is, because it obviously supports networking, otherwise we wouldn't be able to connect to the internet and play multiplayer. It obviously supports the graphics and the textures and the way things work and the mechanics behind everything. The gravity, the way, you know, the fluidity of the movement from place to place, the way you run, the way you slide, the way you shoot a gun, the way the guns act, and the way the mechanics of everything works is 100% down to the game engine. The game engine is the core. That's why it's called the game engine. It's the core of Call of Duty. And if you take that game engine and you completely rewrite it and completely redo it, it's either going to end up being the exact same, because they're going to rewrite everything into it that is already there to make it feel the best it can and make it feel like a Call of Duty, or it's going to be completely different and we'll lose that Call of Duty feeling. And you guys know what's going to happen after that, don't you? If they lose that Call of Duty feeling and the game no longer feels like a Call of Duty, people are going to complain and say that we need to rewrite it again. So the issue with that I have is, like, it's going to take them 2 to 3, 4 years maybe to rewrite this engine to get it right. And if they get it wrong, it's going to take them another 3 to 4 years to rewrite it to the way it was. So yeah, like, complaining about the game engine when it's the core physics, the core game, the core mechanics, the core way of it looking and all the rest of it, there's no point in rewriting it. And another thing that's really stupid is that people seem to think that World War II looks like an Xbox 360 game. Either you've got your settings on your monitor wrong, or the settings on the YouTube video you're watching are wrong, or something like that. Either that, or you're just plain being stupid, because the games look nothing like each other. They look nothing like... World at War looks nothing like World War II in a lot of ways, because World War II is a lot darker, a lot more colourful, sorry, and it also looks fantastic in comparison. There's way more going on. There's way more things happening all the time. And it's like comparing Battlefield to Call of Duty. There's not really a comparison there, because they're two different, completely different playstyles of game. Battlefield's more realistic, and Call of Duty always has been and always will be an arcade style shooter. That's how it goes. And also, Battlefield always will have tanks, it will always have bullet drop, it will always look and play realistically. That's just the way that specific developer wants that game to play. Same with Call of Duty, the developers want the game to play like Call of Duty, which is an arcade style shooter. So I don't understand the point of, they need to rewrite the game engine, they need to make it more realistic, they've got to do this. I mean, what's realistic, honestly, about running around with a keyboard and mouse or a controller? Like, come on. I made this point in a previous video like a while ago, before my channel basically got deleted, but it's stupid to say that you want a game to be realistic when you sitting in a chair with a headset on listening to footsteps is not realistic at all. Like, you're not running through World War II with a gun. Like, yes, it might feel like it because you're immersed in the game and that's what the game is supposed to do, but realistic wise, it really isn't realistic at all, because you're using a controller, you're pressing buttons to kill people, and that's just not how things work. So I think that's a bit of a stupid point, honestly, and hopefully you guys learned something new, something useful from this video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button, and links to my Patreon and all my social media are down below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.